Hey folks, Tom Vasel here, and we're going to be taking a look, as we do each month, at the top 10 selling games of last month. I'm using Cool Stuff, which is one of the largest online board game retailers, for this information, and there's all sorts of things that can affect it, things that are in stock, things in sale, and so on. But I think it'll be an interesting thing to look at from month to month. Starting with this month, I'm going to be taking expansions out of the mix and having them as their separate list at the end. But here we go, the top 10 selling games of February 2018. As of units sold. Number 10 is Grim Forest. No surprise there. Grim Forest really doing well. The beautiful production kids game. It's just, I'm not surprised. Number 9 is Great Western Trail. Down a little bit from 6 last year, but again, last month, again, this is something that's just really, I can easily see this one being on the list for a while. It's especially with the expansion coming out around the corner for it, and just this, it's a heavy Euro game that people like. Number 8, Heaven and Ale, moving up from 16 last time. So that Euro game, that's 2 in a row now that are both from Eggertspiel, Plan B games. Number 7, Spirit Island. This moved up from number 13. This one kind of surprises me a bit because it's a fairly heavy cooperative game, and it's not one that I expected to do as well and have the tail that it does, because it came out basically last year, and yet it's still, people are enjoying it. Number 6, Century Spice Road. This one's new to the list, but it's probably just they got it in stock. This is kind of an evergreen, at least at this point in time. Number 5, Sagrada. This was also new to the list. Sagrada, a dice placement game, family style game, beautiful stained glass windows. I can see why people like this one. Number 4 is Dice Throne. This was 17 last time. This one is getting more traction, especially with the Kickstarter. I believe that's for Dice Throne Part 2 is on Kickstarter right now. And people are really enjoying this. It's essentially fighting Yahtzee to some degree, but with really high production values. Number 3 is Muse. This is up from 8 last time. This party game is, I think people are starting to talk about it, which is why it has moved up. Number 2, new to the list, is Stuffed Fables. No surprise at all. I knew this game was going to hit with a major bang, considering how well Mice and Mystics did in the past. I knew Stuffed Fables, which is a sort of a sequel to it, and a beautiful production, great for kids. Hooray. And number 1 is the same as it was in January, Gloomhaven. Still doing strong, lots of people enjoying it. When it comes to by numbers of amounts that are sold, Gloomhaven and Stuffed Fables are still number 1 and 2. A couple other ones move higher on the list, like Antiquity and Kemet. Interesting enough, Kemet also was number 13, which I think is a surprise for me because I love Kemet. It's one of my favorite games. But several years after it's been released, still being in one of the top sellers. Another top seller that surprised me was number 12, Jim Henson's Dark Crystal. This game, I don't know much about it. Early impressions from people who played it said it's not really that good of a game, but that nostalgia for that movie probably has people interested in it. All right, top 5 expansions. Number 5, Elder Signs, Omens of Pharaoh. Elder Signs stuff always does well. Number 4, Scythe Wind Gambit. Scythe Wind Gambit is just, Scythe continually does well. Why not the expansion? Number 3, Eldritch Horror, Masks of Nyarlathotep. I've heard rumors this is the last expansion for Eldritch Horror. We'll find out. Number 2, Legendary Marvel Champions. I'll be doing a review of that this week or next week. But Legendary Marvel, again, these are kind of like evergreens, just continually coming out with more stuff, and people just keep sweeping it up. And number 1, the little mini expansion for Feast of Odin, which I don't have that one yet. I need to get around because I love Feast of Odin. Probably this one's high on the list just because of how small it is. Anyway, from the list last year, a couple things, last month, a couple things fell off. Charterstone, Anachrony, Photosynthesis, King Domino, Pulsar, and Fallout, which is kind of a surprise, but it hasn't been getting that great of reviews. Well, let's see what happens, what changes in March. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the best-selling games of February 2018.